Evo nas u mestu Nova Bingula kod Erdevika u srcu Srema gde su svoj zajednički život počeli Bojan i sada Milica i oni žive ovde već 5 godina, ali ova priča ne počinje ovde, ne počinje uopšte u Srbiji, je li tako?
Ne, počinje na internetu. To je najbitnije, ja mislim. 2020. sam je upoznao na internetu, počeli smo da pričamo.
Preko koja je platforma?
Facebook. Pa da. Ali mada sam ja njoj poslao poruku u avgustu, znaš. Ona je meni tek odgovorila tamo negde krajem oktobra. Baš kad sam ja teo da prekinem sve i da završim sa socijalnim medijima, prosto mi je bilo previše svega. Posle tog razvoda i sve to. Tako da sam ja bio spreman da dignem ruke od svog tog ljubavnog života. Ja upoznam nju i počnem pričamo prvi dan.
Pa je li vam ona nekako iskočila kao predlog za prijateljstvo?
Da, u nekoj grupi sam je video i vidio sam slike, stoji u prirodi i to je. Svidjelo mi se, ja pošaljem poruku, nema odgovor, ja sam zaboravio na to. I ona se pojavi posle tih, 3 meseca, ja mislim da je oko 3 meseca bilo, i od tada smo počeli da pričamo, intenzivno, ja mislim da smo prvi dan, ja mislim da smo i 24 sata pričali, i telefonski, ubrzo sam upoznao i mamu i sve to, i poslala je čak i paket za Novu godinu sinu, mislim, što je bilo super. Yeah, you remember, yeah. I brzo smo planirali, došla je sledeće godine u martu. Da.
A što niste otvorili vi poruku 3 meseca?
Ne razumem.
Why you didn't open the message for 3 months?
Yes.
It took 3 months for you to answer him.
There is, what do you call
Other
it?
inbox.
Spam.
Spam.
But there's actually one that's more than the spam. So there's 2 spams, and I didn't know that. And I'm cleaning it out, and it's all these men, lots of men. But then I saw him, and I was like, he looks like a nice guy. And so I decided to message him, and I said, what did I say? How can I help you? It was very blunt. And then we talked that day for like hours.
Yeah, really long.
And then after that, we talked every day.
Yeah, in 24 hours. I think it was once
it was 12.
12 hours. It was.
I was just on the phone everywhere I went. Yeah. I go to the store, I went to the gym, I went walking, I was cooking, and we were just talking like we had known each other forever.
Yeah.
A kako je vaš život izgledao pre nego što ste se upoznali i pre nego što ste uopšte znali da ste spremni negde za novu ljubav?
To je bilo, znači, godinu i po dana kako je moja sada bivša supruga otišla sa decom u Ameriku i bio sam u Nemačkoj, nešto malo na radu i došao sam nazad i prosto zasitio sam se tog dopisivanja sa ženama, tako da to je čista sreća, što ti kažem. Ja sam tražio tu ljubav kao svaka osoba normalna želi čovjek ljubav, ali nešto nije to išlo. Previše žena, dopisivanje, nije bilo...
A uživo nešto?
Ne, nisam bio spreman za to. Pošto ja imam specifičan ukus. Ja volim crnkinje, to je to. To je jednostavno, to je istina.
Nisam očekivala ovo.
Da, to je istina, znači tu nema šta se priča, uvek od malena. Samo što nisam imao, kako se kaže...
Da se upoznate.
Tačno. A socijalne medije su olakšali to, realno. Pošto sam mislio lakše je da upoznaš čoveka i da pričaš s njime, da vidiš ko je, nego ono kad se vidite negde i kad izađete i prosto povučete taj izgled ili ta neka pogrešna energija, nego mislim da je bolje kad upoznaš čoveka i vidiš kako funkcioniše. Mada sam prvi put isto tako mislio sa prvom suprugom, pa nije bilo dobro, razumeš, realno.
A vi ste, znači koliko je prošlo od razvoda, šta ste rekli?
Pa 2019. u aprilu, a ona je 2020. tamo negde oktobar, novembar. Eto koliko je prošlo. Solidno, mislim, meni je to solidno vremena. Jer ipak sam bio u nekom braku koji je bio bez ljubavi, tako da...
Vi ste preboleli...
Pa jesam, realno jesam, ja sam u tom braku ostao zbog dece. Tako da, bio sam spreman za ljubav, za neku normalnost. Mada sam iza neće to desiti i zato sam, kao što sam rekao, da ugasim socijalne medije, ali eto, ona je naišla. Ona me ispacila, izvukla me iz svih tih nekih depresija možda i promenila mi život i naterala me da drugčije razmišljam. Ja pre nego što je ona došla, ja na primjer nisam mogu da izađem na ulicu, imao sam napada panika, gušenje.
Anksiozno.
Teško, znači 3 puta dnevno čovjek umire, a ne umireš u stvari. Gušenje, znojanje. Ona me izvukla, nisam mogu da odem u poštu, nisam mogu da funkcionišem.
Najbazičnije ove radnje niste mogli?
Ništa, znači samo u kući, u tom, kako se to kaže, safe place. nisam mogao ništa nisam vidio, ja mislim. To bio jedan čist mrak.
And how did your life look like before Bojan?
Ooh, I think I was in a period where I was rebuilding my life. You know, it used to look one way, but I found myself, I was actually, they call it van life. Have you ever heard of that? Where you fix up a van and you go travel around. I was doing that when I met him. And it was cute. It had a little bed, it had a little sink, and everything I needed in it. A heater. Total freedom. And I would go camping and stuff like that. And that was my life. And I just decided, you know what? I want to travel the world. So when I met him, I was kind of lost. I was trying to figure it out. Like, what am I going to do next? Because I don't want to do what I used to do. Yeah.
And that was what?
You know, it was living in the rat race, dealing with stressful jobs, dealing with a lot of just the energy in America. It was too much for me after a while. And I have to be honest with you, like, I started carrying a gun. You know, they're legal. So I had a license.
Legal and even in your state?
Texas. Yeah, so, you know, Texas, you know. I definitely had my permit. I would go to the shooting range and stuff like that because people were getting shot and killed in the grocery store. I mean, you're going to go buy eggs and now you're ducking bullets. Who wants to live like that? So for me, I'm like, I don't feel safe, you know. Everyone is just so busy and fast. And I was like, I just want a slow life. I just want to travel. I want to meet new people. I want to find love. And the other thing, too, for me was I had went through a divorce. And I was not really connecting with my friends and family. I got to be honest with you. You know, I'm not that close with my family. And I came here to Serbia, and I found the family and friends that I've always wanted. Yeah, so it's been beautiful.
And you brought your mom.
Yes.
You're close with your mom.
3 months after moving here, she came to visit within 3 months. And at the last day, we were at the lake on vacation, and she started crying. She goes, I don't want to leave, you know? So she went home, and she was like, I can't do this anymore. She had signs of, like, I don't know if you know, but when you have blood in your eyes, that's signs of heart problems. And it was time. I said, Mom, just retire and just come. 1 year, she packed up everything, retired, and she came. And she's been here ever since.
Yeah.
She lived in LA, right?
She lived in LA. We lived in LA for 25 years.
You're originally from LA?
Yes. But we left from Texas. So my mom has always went where I was going to go. She said it. She goes, wherever you're going to go, I'm going. So when I moved to Texas, she moved after me. And then I moved to Serbia, and she moved after me. So if we move, she's coming.
She's definitely coming.
Yes, and she's a pleasure to have. She knows how to fit in and make herself useful. And then she's a lot of fun too, so.
Kako je izgledao taj prvi susret? Eto, silne su tu poruke bile, pozivi, video pozivi, pretpostavljam isto da ste morali ovako i na taj način da se upoznate. Drugačije kad se vidi mimika, osmeh, to je ono što kupuje. I vi ste odlučili da odete tamo ili da ona dođe ovde za prvi susret? Kako je to?
Ovde, pošto ona je isto trebala da dođe ovde, da vidi kako je ovde i ona je trebala inače da radi kao nastavnica engleskog u Kini. A što je interesantno, i ja sam imao ponudu da idem. Ne preko nje, nego od druga isto, što je isto koincidencija očito. Ja mislim da nije koincidencija.
Pa čak i u istom gradu da se zaposlite.
Pa nije u istom gradu, ali da nađeš čoveka sa totalno drugog kontinenta koji ima isti poziv, ista stvar da radi, ja mislim da je to neverovatno, ali kad je došla ovde, ona je došla ovde i sećam se, ja i otac smo otišli po nju, ja sam osjetio kao se deo moje duše vratio. To je najrealnije. Znači, ja kad me nešto mi nije dobro ili nešto, ja kad nju zagrlim, to je to. Ja se smirim, hoću kažem, kao lek je. Ona je meni kao lek.
Je li taj sam odlazak na aerodrom, s obzirom na to da ste govorili malo pre i o anksioznosti i o svemu, kako je bilo? Jedna noga ispred druge.
Pa jeste, umirao sam u kolima. U suštini, sve dok čovjek ne dođe pred sam svršen čin, onda je, mislim, šta je tu je, ali jako sam bio nervozan u suštini. Ja mislim da tu noć nisam ni spavao dobro, pošto sam i pratio avion, gde je sve to. I onda kad je došla, onda sam osjećao i sretno i sigurno i opušteno, zato što došla je. Prosto osjetim se ispunjen. Kao dve duše koje su podeljene i ponovo se sreću posle možda 2 života jednog. Tako da ja verujem da ima i toga.
I taj zagrljaj prvi poljubac već se izlečio.
Da, a ona, da, to nema šta. Pa to je duša, ta jedna, imamo istu dušu, imamo tu istu empatiju i slični smo dosta. Koliko smo različiti, ja mislim da smo različiti više, što kažu, iz iskustava životnih i drugčije podneblja, življenja i to, ali generalno to su dve iste duše, definitivno.
And what was like for you? Those first feelings, first time seeing him?
You know, I think just overall in general, I was overwhelmed and tired.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I just felt like I've already known him. You know, it was so cute because it was like your dad was more nervous because he was red in the face.
Yeah. I mean,
he was so nervous, but it just felt like I met my family, you know, and I don't know, it didn't feel like a huge difference from seeing him on video chat every day, except for the fact that it felt good to actually wrap my arms around him. But it just didn't feel, you know, sometimes people will say you meet someone online and then you meet them in person, it's totally different. And you're like, oh,
Yeah,
you know,
a different vibe.
yeah, but you saw them on video and you're like, what is this?
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't feel that. I felt like the same person I saw online, I saw him in person, and I just got a chance to just touch him. Just touch him and love on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I u kom trenutku dolazite do toga da ona ostaje ovde, da to nije samo put da se vi upoznate, da ona poseti Srbiju i da sad dalje planirate, ali da se ona vrati svom životu?
U suštini ja mislim da je to pred kraj ta 3 meseca onda smo odlučili šta ćemo dalje, pošto više nema pojentu da je odlazi, nego želi da ostavi, da, moralo je da padne, tako da imali smo jedno jedino rešenje tada, pošto nismo se mi venčali, to je interesantno isto, nego smo kupili kuću i tako je ostala. To je kako je ostalo.
Upravo ovu kuću. A vi ste rođeni u ovom selu, ali tako?
Da. Odrasto, da. Jesam. Tako da, u suštini, ja mislim da je to bio pametan potez, jer je i njoj dalo vremena da vidi da li ona hoće suda ili neće. Realno, mislim. Ali, odlučila je da ostane, ja mislim da je našla mir. To je najbitnije. Ja ne znam šta drugo čoveku više znači nego taj mir. Toga nema. U mestu odakle ona dolaze, to je stvarno, ja mislim, ja sam zato valjda i pričao s njom stalno da sam brinuo. Mislim, kad upoznaš nekog, onda ti stane do te osobe i onda nisam mogu ni spavam normalno, jer mislim vidjeti pod kojim je stresom bila i kad sam vidio ovde, totalno se promenila.
Is it true you found peace here?
Yes. It was, I can say this. This is how I know I found peace here. You know, in America, I stopped dreaming. And you know, in order for you to be able to dream, you have to hit a certain level of sleep. I dream vividly almost every day. That's where you know you're at peace. You know, I was too stressed out to sleep good. You know, I was just always tired, exhausted. And, you know, you don't realize how exhausted and how stressed out you are until you remove yourself. Not just for a vacation, because, you know, sometimes you need a vacation from the vacation, you know? The vacation's too much. So I, after a couple of months of being here, it's like, this is not a vacation. Like, I am here. And I just found myself settling in and just sleeping so beautifully. But the first night, it was like, I don't hear anything, you know? So it was kind of scary at first, because I'm used to hearing noises all the time. I'm like, you never hear helicopters? You know, like, where you see helicopters? I don't know. It's just, it's hard to describe what that peace feels like. You just have to experience what it's like to be there, remove yourself, and come here to understand and appreciate it.
Sa kojim stvarima ste sve upoznali dok je ona došla na ta 3 meseca? Šta ste sve obilazili, šta ste sve radili i na koji način ste je podučavali srpskoj kulturi, ali i jeziku?
Ja sam nju podučavao srpskoj kulturi, počeoši online. Istorija, znači sama istorija i ko smo i šta smo i kakvi smo.
Je li ona isto znala?
Ja mislim da je najbolje nju da pitate, ali ja mislim, ja kog sećam, oni tamo nisu opterećeni time, ne znaju toliko koliko mi, mislim, realno, mi više imamo znanja, jer oni ipak jure te pare, mislim, život je drugčiji totalno. Tako da, mislim da nije puno nešto znala. You didn't know
a lot about Serbia.
Yeah, I think that I was teaching you a lot.
You know what? In school, our history stops at Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
It stops there. And so we don't know. And you think about how big America is, and then you think about how small Serbia is. And for us, I think with history, it's like we do world history and then we do U.S. history. Now, you can imagine it's complex, right? So we spend a long time on U.S. history. Then when world history, it's kind of, they touch a little bit here and then that's it. But to be honest with you, when things happened here, as far as the war, you know, between America, I actually had no clue. I'm in high school and I'm just living my life. You know, with us as kids, our news, they teach us something totally different. So there's a lot of things that they don't tell us. Even with what's going on, you know, in the world right now, my dad's hearing something totally different. I'm like, we're hearing something different. So I think a lot of what I don't know has to do with the fact that our United States loves to focus on what they want us to focus on. And if there's no interest, it's like, why are we going to teach it to you? You know, so yeah, I don't know what I don't know. You right? Sometimes people will say, how did you not know? It's like, well, I didn't know what to not know, you know? That sounds confusing, but it's the truth. Like, how do I know what I don't know? Yeah.
And what's the first things actually that Bojan had taught you about us, about life in Serbia, Serbian in general?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, the bombing, like, I gotta be real, you know, and I think that was the most important part because, number one, I was flying in on the anniversary. As a matter of fact, I feel like we're interviewing on the anniversary that I came.
It was, yes.
Yeah, so, and then I came here at the same time, too.
Yeah.
So it was important for me to know so I could be empathetic and understand. It's some people, everyone welcomes me, and for me, I'm appreciative of that because there's so many people that could hate me for it, but they don't. They get to know me, you know, and they know we're all people, give each other a chance, and there's nothing I could have done to do anything different. I didn't get a chance to vote for that, so I don't know. But for him to tell me how it affected his childhood, how that changed his life, I think that was really important for me because that I couldn't imagine living like that. I couldn't, you know? So that was the most we talked about, to be honest with you. And I feel like people try to avoid it, but it's okay to talk about it. You've got to understand, you know? Yeah.
A na koje ste se neke lepe stvari, lepše stvari, veselije teme fokusirali dalje? Kroz upoznavanje.
Lepše teme. Treba setiti, to je bilo davno.
Nije bilo toliko davno.
A mislim, u suštini smo planirali život, šta ćemo? Ali učio sam naravno o tradiciji, kakvi smo ko ljudi. Mislim, ja sam govorio da smo mi dobronameran narod koji ima veliko srce i prihvata. I naravno da sam morao da pričam o bombardovanju, jer bombardovanje je obeležilo ne samo mene, nego celu ovu zemlju. I svi mi imamo sećanje, gde smo bili tog dana. To je, mislim, ja se sećam kao i svaka osoba, ali hoću da kažem, mi smo godinama, ja mislim i u odrastanju, ja sam tad prestao da gledam američke filmove i slušam američku muziku, baš zbog toga što sam bio pogođen time samim. I da budemo realne generacije, kao što je moja 86, a možda i mlađe, detinjstvo nam je bilo oduzeto. Ti nisi mogu da budeš dete kao... Pa eto ti, 13 godina. Kako nije detinjstvo oduzeto kad pogledaš, počevši od raspada Jugoslavije, do ovamo, čega se lepog sećam? Sećam se ratova na televiziji. Nema ništa lepo, tako da hoću kažem, htio sam da je naučim u suštini kroz šta smo mi prošli, ali ja sam isto bio začuđen da koliko to kod njih nije plasirano, mislim, koliko oni nemaju...
Šta smo prošli i zašto smo takvi kakvi jesmo?
Pa da, mislim, da.
I koje još druge stvari nas negdje određuju.
Da, definitivno. Ali, ja mislim da je najveća njoj škola bila kad je došla ovde i kad je videla koliko je prihvaćena i koliko je ljudi, kako je doživljavaju. Mislim, ja mislim da su ona i njena mama su dve najsretnije osobe u ovom selu, najnasmejanije, najpozitivnije, a ja govorim njima da smo mi zbog tih svih stvari koje su se dešavale u prošlosti, ljudi su više zabrinuti, turobni i sve to, tako da i meni je bilo teško da se nauči na to, da su stalno toliko sretne. To meni prosto nije išlo, jer da se ja naučio, valjda ljudi u ovom podneblju u problemima, imaš neki problem i stalno si u glavi, ali one su kao sunce. obasjaju ovo selo.
Preporodile ovde.
Ovdje su preporodili selo i da, definitivno. Ljudi ih volu, definitivno, tu nema.
How do you like village life here in Bingula?
I love it. I think the hardest part really for me is winter. But this time of year is so beautiful. We're starting to get the blooms. I'm like, oh my gosh, his cherries are coming. Then there's the plums. And then what I love too is like when you're walking along the street, there's fruit trees everywhere. So like you're walking in the morning, you're having breakfast, you know, and then you have...
You never lived on a countryside?
Never. No, not at all. Well, I have to say this. I was born in Oklahoma. I did not live there a long time. I only lived there my first 2-3 years of my life. My grandmother had a 40-acre farm. She lived on a farm. So I was exposed to it a little bit, but I never lived not like this, where I'm actually milking the goats. I make goat cheese now, you know? Yeah, so my friends back home, they're like, what? We never thought we'd see you milking goats and making goat cheese and picking up eggs, you know, every morning. So I love it.
Yeah.
How did you learn all of the stuffs that you need to do on a daily basis?
He taught me everything, you know, and then my mother-in-law too. You know, even though we barely understand each other, she does a really good job. You have to speak slowly. If you speak slowly, I'll get enough. So she teaches me, you know, what to plant or how to plant it or how to plow, things like that. So I just listen. Yeah.
And how life looks like from day to day?
Ooh, so for us right now, we usually feed the animals. He feeds the animals. I don't do any other feeding. Him and my son, they do the feeding of the animals around noon. But earlier part of the day, we start about 6 a.m. And either I'm going running. I haven't been running in a while, but I'm like the only runner in the village. So they're like, this weird American, what is she doing?
That's
you know? So yeah, but I run proud, you know? So sometimes I run in the mornings and then we have our coffee and then I start working. His schedule is so all over the place. He may work.
Most of you have steady jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not living just from...
Off of this. Oh, there's no way. I mean, not off of 2 sheep. And how many goats do we have? We have 8 goats and maybe like 20 chickens, if that. No, 2 rabbits. So we have 30 baby chicks now, but some baby chicks. But we started out small so we could learn. Even though he knows a lot, there's still a lot he does not know. So you don't want to buy 50 goats and they're all dropping dead. You know, I mean, you want to learn just from a few. So we don't have a lot right now because we're still learning a lot. And to be honest with you, the big animals are too much work. They're way too much work. And now that we're both working full time, ducks, rabbits, chickens, goose, things like that, that's what we're going to keep from now on. Once these are gone, we're good with the big animals. It's too much work. But at least we still get like meat from the chickens, meat from the ducks. Because, oh my gosh, I have to tell them, I did my first, what is the event when you kill the pigs? Yeah, I did my first one. And I was actually there from everything, from the beginning to the end, when the pig was like, I'm going to give you a video of that, okay, so you guys, because I have a video of it. But the processing the meat, I was there in the morning.
From 7 to 9.
Yes,
in the night.
And then you have lunch, and then you have dinner, and then there's
the whole village is here.
Yeah.
I did my first one. It was so much fun. It was fun. So that's a part of village life. It may not be here for us, but we have neighbors, and it's a community, and we help each other. Sometimes we'll show up home and there's a big bucket of potatoes. We don't know who dropped it off, but somebody brought us potatoes because they had extra potatoes. I mean,
and that's the deal here.
Yeah, I never had that in America. No one's dropping off nothing on my doorstep.
Yeah. Only mail.
Right. That's a good one.
A kakvi su vam planovi za dalje? Eto, ona je govorila o tome koliko sada životinja držite i da zaista ne možete od toga da živite, ali sigurna sam da ćete vi za koju godinu ovo zaista pretvoriti u pravi život na selu. Da ćete se rešiti svojih poslova na kompjuterima.
Pa cilj je da u suštini obučimo ljude, da možda i otvorimo neku kompaniju, da će, razumeš, da mi ne moramo da radimo, da možemo i da putujemo malo, i da se malo živi, a ne, ali u suštini što se tiče životinja, to je što ona rekla, to sam više kućni ljubimci. Ne može živjeti od toga, mislim, niti imamo toliko zemlje, niti mogućnosti da držiš.
Niste nešto da obrađujete zemlje?
Ne.
Znači imate samo baštu?
Samo baštu i imam nešto vinograda gore. Ali nema vinograda, izvadili ga. Da, samo znači zemlja ostala.
Niste stigli time da se bavite?
Ne, to je moj deda. Držao, čak moj otac nije znao nikad oko vinograda, tako da je to u suštini propalo. I ovaj čovjek od koga smo kupili ovu kuću, njegov vinograd je bio pored mog, tako smo i to uzeli. Da, nikad ne znam, otkud znam, možda ću nekad nešto zasaditi.
Vi ste i dalje u procesu renovacije ovde svega, što kuće, što okolnih, mislim, ovih pomoćnih objekata i samog dvorišta, ali tako?
Da, tu ima puno posla, mislim. Od krova do zidova, ja mislim da čovjek kad kupi kuću nije ni svestan koliko ima, ne izgleda tako dok ne krene. Tako da potraći to još dobrih 10 godina, sigurno.
Ali nije da niste znali u šta se vi upuštate, jer opet odavde ste i onda...
Znao se ja vrlo dobro, u suštini ovo nije loše kakve kuće ima, tako, samo što treba puno posla, puno para, puno, mislim...
A pre svega strpljenje.
Pa to definitivno, a ona nema strpljenja.
Kako to?
Pa Amerikanci nemaju strpljenja, mi imamo, mi smo...
Ali ja sam sad da se situacija
Pa
promijenila.
učim je kako da budemo više strpljivi.
Better with money.
No money.
No.
What?
Patience, that you get more patient, because you are not patient. We are talking about renovation. Now I'm teaching you how to accept it and how it operates with the how you call it, workers and things. Da, posebno s majstorima kako je ono, pa te dođe, te ne dođu. U Americi se naučili ovako, oni daju pare i to je gotovo za 2 dana, to je to, nema to šta se priča. Ali kod nas to ne ide tako, to ide postepeno, iz etape u etapu, tako da, planiramo da ostanemo definitivno ovde, ali ne bilo loše ni malo se putuje, to je, da se nešto vidi.
Pa, a šta ćete sa taštom za to vreme? Kad je došla tašta, eto, znači ona je došla, kako je rekla supruga, godinu dana nekih.
2 years.
Ili 2?
2 godine došla.
Nisu mogle da se rastaju.
Pa nisu, ja takvu povezanost nisam vidio, mislim, to je lepo jako vidjeti, koliko su one povezane, i nisu one samo majka i ćerka, nego i najbolje drugarice, i to je jako lepo vidjeti. I što više gledam njih dve, u stvari i meni je baka, tako je zovem, baka, ona mi je jako dobra prijateljica, mi pijemo kafu ujutru, idemo u razne akcije, u shoppinge i to. Mislim, ona meni kao druga mama. Znači, ja sam uvek želeo da imam takvu porodicu, da ću ja budem prihvaćen sa strane suprugine porodice i obrnuto. Da ona bude... Tako je, ali to, mislim, nisam veruo da će se ikad ostvariti, pošto čovjek uvek gleda u filmovima, tašta ne voli zeta, zet ne voli majku od žene, tako da nisam mislio da će to da bude tako, ali jeste. Znači,
pa jeste vi predložili da se ona preseli ovde definitivno ili je to nekako prirodno došlo, prirodna odluka?
Pa bila je to prirodna generalna odluka, ali zajednička, zato što ona kad je onda bila tu i kad je odlazila, mi smo već počeli da pričamo pre nego što je ona rekla, već smo mi planirali da je generalno dovedemo, da kažem, dođe ovde. Ima tu i gde da se živi, mislim, nije problem. Tako da ja mislim da to mi uopšte nije, kako se to kaže, mnogo mi je draga ta odluka, jel? Upotpunjava nam ovaj život i pomaže dosta i oko sina, pošto mi kad radimo nema čovjek ni vremena, a druga stvar je kad ode sad u Ameriku, ne znam ko će više faliti, njoj ili meni, tako da je baka ide u Ameriku na 1-2 nedelje.
Znači živite vi, supruga, njena mama i vaš sin iz prvog braka, ali tako?
Da.
A sad nismo se dotakli teme svadbe i njenog krštenja. Ona se zove Iris ili Iris, kako? Iris. Iris.
Amerika.
English, Iris. Yes. I Milica.
Milica.
Yeah. Yes. What was the question?
Everything about becoming Milica.
Yes.
Oh.
This is yours.
So, yeah. That was definitely a fun experience. I think it was a beautiful experience because in the end, the words that were said to me pretty much made me feel like now this is truly my home. You know, it's one thing to come here. And I'm actually getting my permanent residency this year and my citizenship, so I'm excited about that. But you would think that would make you feel like this is your home. But it was something about being baptized that made me feel like this is my home. And so it was a different experience because the way we baptize in America as Christians is different. And obviously, we would consider that to be the bastard way of doing it because obviously this country was well here before we were even made, considered, thought about, whatever, and the traditions. And so for me, it was important to be closer to that tradition and to participate in it. I think the part that threw me off, though, was the water being thrown on my head, because my mom, when she was happening to her, she was like, what's going on, So it was different. But when he said the words in the end that, you are now our sister and we've accepted you in the body of Christ, that was a beautiful experience. Yeah.
Did you choose the name or?
He chose the name, and so now it's like when I tell people Milica, they're like, Milica. And it's like one of the most common names here in Serbia, kind of like the older name Hope. How do you say Hope in
Serbian? Vera.
Vera, yeah.
Nada.
Yeah.
Vera is fate.
Yeah, and yeah, Miloš, those names, they're very common. That makes me feel even more a part of Serbian culture to have a name like that.
But reason was because my great-grandma name was Milica. Prabaka.
Gde ste se venčali i gde se ona krstila? To je, znači, prvo ste morali krštenje da obavite tako da biste se venčali u crkvi.
U našoj crkvi, u hramu Svetog Đorđa, u Binguli. Da, tu smo se i venčali, i ona se krstila i njena mama se krstila i ja sam se krstio, to valjda postala jedna tradicija, i sin, naravno. Da, ali dobro, ali on se ranije krstio, da. Tako da, da, slavimo. Da, naravno, nema tu. Kod nas nikad nije ni bilo, pošto meni je otac Slovak, majka Srpkinja, tako da ja i tako slavim sve.
Vama je svakako to povrlo.
Meni je to, da.
It's complicated.
Pa i da nisam, ja mi zaboleo, ipak je ovo takvo je selo. Tako da ja mislim onda i ljudi koji žive, koji nisu Slovaci, znaju slovački, zato što prosto živimo jedni oko drugih, da.
A sad će malo da nauči i engleski. Ali kako ide njen srpski? How's your Serbian going? Not so very well.
Not so good. It's, for me, I do feel bad, and I've made promises, and I say I'm gonna do better, and I'm gonna do better, and then I just get so focused on work, and I think it's because my first few years here, we were spending time trying to figure out how we're gonna make an income for ourselves. Like, it's a job looking for a job, it's a job building businesses, and I use my TikTok to learn Serbian phrases, and I was saying some phrases earlier like udupe na vašar and bez dalake na jeziku, and all these different phrases that at least helps me to interact with people. But I can shop around with no problem. I know enough to where if they're asking me questions, like if you notice, I could understand majority of what you're saying. It's complicated. It's a beautiful language. I pray that eventually, I do learn and I become fluent, and I'll continue to try. All I can do is try my best. I think I am, how do I say, ja sam glup, za jeziku. I'm stupid for languages, and it's hard, but I'll keep trying. I promise.
And what about your mother?
Oh, it's funny. She's walking around, instead of saying hello to people, she's saying thank you. It's instead of zdravo, she's like hava. And so she tries, and she just laughs, and everyone just loves her because she's so cute and nice. And I think for me, what people appreciate most is the fact that I'm nice. I'm nice. I'll try. I'll try to say hello to you. The kids stop and say hello to me. Strangers stop me in public. I'm always smiling and nice, and I think that's what makes the difference. People feel my heart. They may not understand my words, but they feel my heart, and I feel theirs too.
Everybody knows you're around here.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, my son was saying, Mom, everyone's talking about your TikTok and things like that, and then we're at the soccer game, and there's some little girls. She was like, I saw her on TikTok. And so it's not even just the fact that there's not a lot of people who look like me in this area, but my social media has gotten a lot of attention as well too. So yeah, a lot of people know who we are. And then the previous story on top of that. So it's like, wow, this is a really unique story. Not only did he have a previous American wife, but she came and then she brought her mother. And then my dad comes often. He was here last year for 3 months. Now my aunt is actually going to be moving here probably by the end of the year. She came to visit for 2 months. Yeah, sorry.
She's moving here?
Yeah. She visited for 2 months. I forgot to add that part. So after my mom came to visit, my aunt came to visit. And yeah, my family.
Are they going to live together? Are they sisters?
They are sisters, and they're not going to live together. She needs the city life. She's an artist. She likes that vibe. Dorchol.
To Novi Sad or?
Dorchol, like that area.
Belgrade.
It's the artsy area, you know. That's her vibe.
She already found herself.
Yeah,
there.
She did good. I visited her for 2 days, but she was there for 2 months. Almost 3, right?
Yeah, around 3.
I had a blast. And then she went on to Spain and went here. And we love to travel.
She's returning, right?
She's returning.
For good.
For good. She wants to, because she has no children. So who's going to take care of her? I'm all she has, yeah. And my uncle, he didn't have kids either, but he has a wife. And then my mom, I'm her only, so I'm the chosen one.
A vi nemate zajedničke dece, ali ona vrlo govori o vašem sinu kao o svom detetu i pretpostavljam da je to obostrano.
Da, to je definitivno obostrano i on je jako vezan za nju. I to mi je bitno, to je jako bitno, mislim, lepo videti. Pošto uči ga puno o životu i ispravlja neke stvari, možda koje ja nisam uspeo da mu usadim u njega, ona i njena mama definitivno tu puno pomažu. Znači, to jeste jedna velika ljubav. Ja mislim da on jako je vezan i za nju i za baku i tu nema šta se priča. Ali to je lepo vidjeti, stvarno. To mi je bilo isto da one njega prihvate, a i on njih, to mislim. Ali dobro je sve ispalo, tako da...
Nije bilo problema, ni na samom početku?
Ne, nije. On je nju odmah mama zvao. Kad smo ja i ona počeli pričati, kad je on vidio da je to valjda ozbiljno i kad sam ja govorio, to je to. On je sam počeo da je zove mama. Tako da to...
When you came to Serbia, you already became a mom.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I became a mom before I moved to Serbia because he asked me to be his mother before I moved here. And and then I thought, you put him up to it. But he didn't. I could tell it was so genuine. And it was a little video that he sent me of his little face. He was 6 years old. And he was like, will you be my mom? And I was like, ugh. How can I say no? And I said, no matter what happens between me and your dad, I'm still going to be your mom. And so God blessed me in that way. I've always wanted a son. Clearly, I haven't had my own kids. And we have been struggling in that area, which is why one day we hope that once we're finished building on our home, this part of the house, we would love to have foster children. Because one thing people say about us is that we're so kind, we're so loving and giving. Why not give children the opportunity to have that experience with parents like us?
Znači, hoćete da prihvatite neko dete u hraniteljsku porodicu?
Da, eventualno, kad se sredi kuća i to sve, što da ne. Ja sam uvek za to, jer ta deca isto zaslužuju ljubav i da ih neko izvede na taj put. Ja mislim da je to savršeno. Ja mislim da je to u suštini velika stvar kad čovjek pogleda, jer ta deca nisu nikom ništa kriva, treba da odrastu u nekoj boljoj, možda i mirnijoj sredini. Da. To je definitivno.
Koje još planove imate za život? Eto, spomenuli ste da hoćete da putujete, da hoćete da uživate. Gdje ste do sad išli? Koje ste još gradove zajedno obišli po Srbiji, pre svega?
Išli smo u Golubac, u Tvrđavu. Da, tu smo išli Viminacijom. Gde smo još bili? Dobro, naravno, Beograd, mislim, Novi Sad, to se ne računa. Išli smo u Sarajevo, na primjer, isto. To je isto interesantno. Ja nikad nisam išao u Sarajevo, pa smo onda išli posle venčanja, tog prvog, to nam bio kao medeni mesec, sa taštom i tastom. I oni su išli s nama, bilo je lepo. Pa da. I išli smo da posetimo, to mi je bilo lepo. Ja sam lično teo da idem tamo da posetim grob Boška i Admire. Oni što su bosanski, kako su se zvali, Romeo i Julija, što su bili ubijeni na mosti Vrbanji. To sam išao i sat i po vremena našao sam. Imamo baš sliku gde ostavili smo nekog medvedića i mislim, to je iskrena ljubav bila, realno. Tako da, ali u suštini putovali smo, nismo puno putovali, ali smo putovali solidno i ima jedno mesto u Erdeviku na jezeru Moharač koje je vrlo posebno, svake godine posećujem. Budemo tamo i po 2-3 nedelje.
Kampujete?
Da, u stvari to je moja kuma, mislim drugarica i kuma, ona izdaje, to zove se Kućerak na jezeru, ali je jako lepo mesto. Znači čovjek se opusti, iako sam otišao samo 3 kilometra, ja dođem prepoređeno. Dakle, priroda je nešto nevjerovatno. Da.
A s druge strane ste i zaljubljeni u istoriju, pa ta putovanja imaju i neku drugu draž vam donose.
Da, to definitivno, pošto ja se uvek, iako čovjek uči tu istoriju i gleda, čovjek hoće da dodirne to. Naprimjer, ako je neki spomenik ili neka zgrada, ja prosto moram da imam taj kontakt s time. A kad smo isto bili u Budimpešti, naprimjer, ona je išla po celom gradu, ja sam otišao da vidim one male, ne znam kako se ona zove, one cipelice male što ide uz Dunav, to je gde je Holokaust se desio. I išao sam onaj muzej, onaj horor, kako su ga zvali već, o zločinima fašista i kao komunista. To smo išli mene ništa drugo ne interesuje. Ja kad idem negdje imam gol. Hoću to i to i to, da vidim i to je to. A ona ide svugde. Ona je išla celu tu turu po Budimpešti i to. Tako i po Sarajevu, gde su išli na onu planinu, ja nisam teo da idem. Meni baš čaršija bila dovoljno. I
kafence i ćevapa.
Da, tačno, ma šta drugo, nema tu. Ali ona je spremna i mi imamo plan da više putuje se po Srbiji, da se istraži, da se vidi, pošto je Srbija lepa, realno. I čak sam i kupio onu knjigu, pa zove se Srbija, to je od mladinske knjige, ja mislim, ali englesko izdanje, gde su sve one najlepše mesta, ja mislim da je oko 100 mesta najlepše u Srbiji, pa to smo planirali, ja je kupio da je motivišem da krenemo da vidimo to, tako da... You understand that?
Yeah, I want to explore more in that book because there's so many places to visit in Serbia.
Yeah.
But that book, I think it'll help me to like plan out certain places. Like I wanted to go to Tito's train. I haven't been there yet. You know, where's that cave? There's like a cave with a waterfall here somewhere.
I can't remember.
There's so many places, and I'm like, we're so busy going here and there because since I've been here, we've been a lot of places, and I've even been to. I went to Italy with my dad.
Oh yeah.
We went to Rome. And I'm tired of going to Rome. Like, I want to go. I've been there several times. I want to visit throughout Serbia. And I had a friend of mine that said recently someone came to visit here in Serbia, and they were just in Belgrade, and they was like, I expected more. The beauty of Serbia, I guess when you go to places like Hungary and you go to their capital, Budapest, and it's so grand and all these things, for me, I believe that the beauty of Serbia is in the smaller towns. Yeah. It's not in Belgrade. And so many people come here and they think this is Serbia. And I've seen videos, they're like, this is Serbia. And I'm like, this is not Serbia. This is part of Serbia, but this is not it. And even when I'm reading books, like I have to watch out because like I was reading some of Momo Kapoor's books and he really focuses on Belgrade. So when he talks about the Sundays, Čovjek Sunday, like the men on Sundays at the kafanas, right? They're different in Belgrade. In these smaller towns, you know, you don't see women in those kafanas. But people in the comments were saying, yes, I'm a woman, I go to kafana. But I'm like, but you're in Belgrade, you're in Novi Sad, that's different. You don't want to go to the kafanas here in Sremska Mitrovica with these older men. You will not see another woman. So what I'm saying is village life is so different than city life. And that's the part of Serbia I wish people got a chance to get to know. Yeah.
What was your first impression when you came here to visit, and how did you feel about your daughter's decision to move?
Two good questions. Yeah. Well, when I trusted her, when she decided to move, I trust her judgment. We moved from a very conservative part of America, Oklahoma, to California. And I wanted to raise her in a diverse environment with lots of different people. So in Los Angeles, there's people from everywhere. And so when she decided to move here, I said, okay, I trust her, you know, she should be okay. And then when I finally got here, I think my first impression first of all, we were stared at. We're stared at a lot, but it's not in a negative way. It's just people are curious. And then I noticed a slower pace, and that I had to slow down, and I had to leave my American expectations as far as things being done so quickly, you know, and just taking things easy. And
Everything was rushed.
Yeah, everything was rushed in America. And here, it's no big deal, you know, you take your time and stuff. So I appreciate that.
And you liked it so much, you stayed here.
Yeah.
You're building now a new life.
I'm building a new life and in my retirement. So now I'm spending my time creating holistic concoctions for my family and cooking for them, learning how to cook the Balkan way.
Have you learned already something?
I've learned a little bit. Boyan, my son-in-law, teaches me a lot, and one thing I wasn't accustomed to was using a lot of potatoes and stuff. So I cooked smothered potatoes for him. Now he loves my smothered potatoes. So.
At which point did you realize you might want to stay longer, or even more, or even move yourself?
Probably hearing my daughter talk about it once I returned home, and then things had gotten very stressful on my job. I was a teacher and elementary. I taught kindergarten for 25 years, and with the new presidential administration, there were a lot of people sending down mandates, making us do things in the classroom that I didn't think was right for children, and it was very stressful. So one day I was talking to my daughter, and she goes, "You know what, Mom, why don't you just move here?"
With me?
Yeah, and so I started the ball rolling. I put in my resignation 2 weeks later and started packing up. But I always knew I would retire in another country, but I thought it was going to be a warmer country, like the Caribbean or somewhere. But God had different plans for me, and I was ready.
Your name here is now Dragica, right?
Dragica,
but
yes.
Your real name is?
Darlene Anderson Taylor.
You've been baptized also with your daughter?
Yes. So that makes my third baptismal. I was baptized when I was 10, and I went as a child. Then I was baptized again as an adult, signifying that I truly understand what that means. And then when I got here, I wanted Boyan and Iris to know that I take it seriously, his faith in the Orthodox Christianity, and I wanted to let him know. And that was my way of doing that for him. So
you experienced some kind of a burnout while doing the teaching?
It wasn't because of teaching. It was the administrators. I could be all day in a classroom, but when you're trying to teach and then somebody walks in with a laptop, they sit down, they start typing everything you're saying and doing. It's nerve-wracking, and you know.
And then that happened every day?
All the time in Texas, not every day, but many times they would just walk in and do that, and then they'll start talking to the students, asking them what they're learning, and many times they go to the student that never pays attention. So if that student doesn't know what they're learning,
you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble for that day. But I think the burnout can also be reflected in the way things function in America. It's very stressful and very competitive, and you really struggle. Like, people struggle to pay rent and pay. If I were still there, I would have to be working part-time because the senior place where I live was very expensive. Working, it was okay, but to retire and live there would have been a challenge, yeah.
What have you come to appreciate the most about living here?
The honesty of the people, the purity of the food. We're not inundated with a lot of chemicals and many things that they use readily on foods in America, and they approve it. It's banned here, so I appreciate that. We have a butcher, a huge meat market that's not far from us. We have a chicken factory that's not far, so we go. And then Iris and Boyan, they're doing their best to grow animals that we can eat.
And you're doing a little bit of
yeah, and I'm helping them with the gardening and everything. So yeah, I appreciate that.
And you all live together, but it's planned for you to move.
Right now we live together, yeah. And we had challenges with Boyanom getting used to me as a mother-in-law, and then my energy, I'm not the kind of person that will come and just sit quietly. I'm moving, I'm touching things, I'm moving things. And so we decided, you know what, it'd be best if I had my own place. So I'm gonna live on the property with his mom. She already has a house there, and then I'm gonna finish my little house there as well.
And that will be only your home?
Yes, yes, yes. And it'll have a porch, and I have an area for the dogs, the 4 dogs, and they'll be able to run and play and not be chained up.
Looking at your daughter's journey, what makes you most proud?
Her courage and her ability to just not be afraid. And I remember when she turned 21, I asked her what did she want. She goes, I want to jump out of a plane. So she parachuted out of a plane. She's an avid swimmer, and I'm not. And so I appreciate her being brave, having the courage to try things that I'm afraid to do, and just having the courage to fall in love and with somebody from a totally different country.